What's up, and welcome to another episode, Master Moats Film Session, and it is brought to you by DRAFTKINGS Sportsbook, America's top-rated sports booking app. Not only is it safe, but it is secure and reliable. And for all the first-time users out there, if you use the promo code Moats, you will receive up to $1,000 in deposit bonus money. So stop wasting time, download the app, and use the promo code so you can get an opportunity to make a little money. And typically when we're doing these film sessions, we're live, but I am still recovering from that lost Sunday night. It hurt my heart. So I just needed a week to just regain my thoughts. But either way, the film will still be coming to you. And this first clip we're going to talk about is the James Washington 27-yard completion in the second quarter. It was a beautiful throw and catch. So, as we always do, I played at full speed, and after that, I slow it down. And for those that don't know, it's Mr. James Washington right there. Alrighty. So first off, we got to talk about what the coverage is, okay? Or excuse me. Yeah, we'll talk about the coverage first. So for the Browns, they're running a Tampa 2. Now, they ran a lot more cover 2 and Tampa 2 this time around, this third matchup against the Steelers than they did previously. We talked about how in week 17 against Mason Rudolph, they were running an exotic version of cover 3. It looked something like this, okay? We talked about how the Browns, they were running this guy here, and they were having this guy just kind of spy this middle area, right? And then obviously they were locking these guys up on the back. Now, this week, what they did was a lot more of this. Middle runner, okay? And they had this guy squatting, okay? And that would be his area. That would have been his area. So they did this a lot more this week against Ben Roethlisberger in the full gamut of the Pittsburgh Steelers offense. And they did it because they wanted to minimize the deep threat, right? We talked about in week 17, Mason Rudolph really took advantage of the deep throws, right? Some of these man-to-man concepts on the backside with Chase Claypool and Deontay Johnson, Mason was really able to capitalize on those. They weren't going to give those same opportunities to Ben right here. And literally the whole game, it was a ton of this coverage, man. This is what they ran because, number one, you had DBs being aggressive with these receivers, not allowing free releases. But number two, they always had hope over top. And that was ultimately how they were able to minimize some of the chunk plays that we saw in week 17 that we thought would carry over into this last playoff game. And then offensively, obviously, they're in a 3-by-1 set. It's 11 personnel, meaning one running back, one tight end, right? This is Eric Ebron. Then from there, you have Juju in the slot, Deontay out wide, and you have James Washington on the backside. Now, typically, when you're playing cover 2 as the receiver, you want to outside release this thing, especially on the route that he was running. James is running just a vertical route. He's trying to get to this little area. Let's see if we can pull this up for you. There we go. Yeah, but James, he's only trying to get to this little area right here. Speed you up. All right. So the area that he's trying to end up in is right over here, okay? It's just a vertical route. The thing is, this DB does a good job of, number one, not allowing the outside release, right? You saw it was very subtle at the beginning of this play, but ball snaps, the DB, just a light shuffle, just the outside leverage, right? So it's going to force the inside release because this defender knows, hey, I have hope over top. I have hope inside. I can't get beat to the flat. So that's what he's thinking. So on the reroute, what he essentially does is make him have to bubble inside. Now, James does a good job of showing great route awareness in getting back outside because obviously when we rewind this back to here, right here, this isn't the throw that Ben wants because this safety is still very much in play. If this ball is anywhere on these numbers, this safety can make a break on that ball, whether it's getting an interception or a big hit. Obviously, you have this linebacker who's your vertical hook defender, and he's sitting there with eyes on Ben. So it's a tight window right now because of the release that James Washington took. Now, the thing that I do like about James is he understands where he needs to get. And he said to himself, I got to get back outside of these numbers. I got to get closer to this sideline. And you see him start to bubble his route out at the top of it to create that natural window, that natural separation. And now he's in that, what we call the honey hole, right? Anytime you're playing cover two, whether it's Tampa 2 or just traditional cover 2, remember the only difference is the middle runner. If it's regular Tampa 2, this guy isn't running the middle of the field. If it is Tampa 2, he will be running the middle of the field. So that's why you see the linebacker this deep. But in either form of cover 2, you're going to have a soft spot between your squat corner, which is this guy right here, and your safety, which is this guy right here. Safety, he's a deep half guy. This corner, he's squatting, so he's going to be short and aggressive on anything that's breaking out. But this, well, not that big, excuse me. But this is a nice little window that you can throw it in, right? Now, the thing is, number one, you got to have a quarterback that can make that throw. He has to know, okay, this is where I want the ball at, placement, control, and obviously just the touch of it, because you got to put enough air on it to get it over this defender, but not too much air where this guy can come in and be a factor in it. But ultimately, man, Ben does just that. Perfect ball placement. Good job by James Washington. Like I said, after the release of getting back outside to the proper area so that ball can be thrown the way it was, man. But I thought that was a nice throw and catch right there. And honestly, man, as a whole, when we talk about Ben, he is still very much capable of making these throws. The thing is, how consistently can he do it? Now, obviously, we'll break down him a lot more as the offseason progresses, but that's going to be the big thing with him. Can we see a lot more of this showing up consistently on tape, where he's hitting passes downfield 25 plus yards, where he's consistently showing great accuracy, touch, and velocity? Right there, man, he did all of those things. But then also, man, let's look at this protection, because they did a good job as well, man. The O-line obviously has been under criticism, and rightfully so. Their play was inconsistent at times throughout the year. But right here, man, they do a really good job of keeping 7 clean. And I like this chip right here by Benny, man. Really good job. Stonewalling the defender, helped Chooks out. Al is running his guy around. Clean pocket. Clean pocket. 7 does what he needs to do. So that's another thing right there, man. Keep 7 clean. We're seeing he can make certain plays. Now, like I said, the level in which he can continue to do that from a consistency standpoint, well, that was what we have to wait and see. But he still is very much capable. All right, let's play that one more time, full speed for you. Okay. Here it is from the end zone, man. You can really see what Ben's doing with his eyes, too. So right now, you see eyes front, and then he looked over here for a second before he came back. But what he's doing this whole time, when we go back to the wide, you can see it, right? This safety here, this deep half safety. If Ben comes out the gate and is looking over here towards James Washington the whole time, this safety is going to be a lot further out here. He's going to be more on top of the numbers, maybe even outside the numbers. But because Ben initially, when he came out of this thing, he looked front, first he looked middle, and then he looked front side. That holds this safety. That makes this safety have to stay inside the numbers, because Ben knows where he wants to go. He wants to put this ball slightly outside the numbers. But if he's looking over there the whole time, this safety right here is going to adjust his drop. He's going to, obviously get back out there to the numbers or outside the numbers so he could be a factor in this play. But I thought it was a good job by 7 holding that safety, even though he knew the whole time he wanted to go backside. But really, really good throw and catch, man. Really good in terms of just controlling the safety. You see the head movement, the eyes, dagger. It's beautiful right here, man. That's big time throw and catch right there. And like I said, we just need to see that more consistently. But what happened on that play? Number one, the receiver ran a great route, understood what he was doing, and caught the ball. Number 2, Ben did a good job of controlling the safety with his head movement, and then obviously putting together a nice throw with great touch and accuracy on it. And then the final part of the play was the protection. The protection was there. The O-line did what they were supposed to do. Now, that's the sign of a good team, right? You see glimpses of it. We see occasional plays of that. But the great teams do it all the time. So that's going to be the thing that we're all going to be looking for this team to do next year and going forward. But I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it. It was a fun time. Hope you enjoyed this play breakdown. And as always, until next time, baby, peace.